What is going on out there, everybody? Episode 6 of the All Around Sports Podcast with your host, Jim McAllister. Guys, again, I can't thank Mark Malusis enough for joining us on last show. It was a tremendous honor just to get to know him and talk to him and really, pick his brain about things that, I had some, thoughts and opinions on as well as he did. And just to hear him share what he shared with us, and open up like that was truly amazing. And I can't thank him enough for that. And hopefully, we'll hear him again on the podcast. I'm hoping so. I think, since we're now 6 episodes deep into this thing, I think we're just getting better and better. As the shows go on, I feel we're getting in more of a rhythm. We're starting to really, gain some steam, get some traction here, and, away we go and kind of see where this thing, takes us. And it's been a fun ride. I got to be honest. It's been amazing. Again, thank you to the All Around Army. You guys, thank you so much for supporting me, believing in me, and listening to what I have to say. It's a big honor and a privilege to do so. And we're going to get right into it now. I mean, we're going to start where I feel like we kind of start a lot on this program. And that's right. My beloved New York Mets. So, get right out of the All-Star break here. We're gonna, kind of pick up where we left off in the season, and kind of turn for home here and kind of see where the last, I'd say, 70 games kind of take us. And with the trade deadline being, where it is, I think it's today. I would say about 11 days away at this point. You're gonna learn a lot from this team in the next 11 days. Thankfully, the schedule is not. It's not crazy, but it's not, let's put it this way. It is not easy at all. I mean, the 3 games with Miami should be okay. We'll see where that takes us. And then we got 2 with the Yankees and then 3 with the Braves. And then, they go on this trip that's, kind of looming in the shadows where they're going to be running around pretty much the entire, Midwest to West Coast for pretty much the entire month of August. So again, we'll kind of see where that all takes us. And, if they're going to do anything with this season, they're going to really need to, strengthen that bullpen, kind of see where Senga is starting pitching wise, and hopefully he can be a shot in the arm. Because with that, you can kind of take one of the starters and, maybe move them in the bullpen, maybe not. I don't know. I think Jose Buto's been a revelation down there. I think that's going to really help the team. They also need to make moves. I mean, let's be honest, some of the guys they got down there don't belong on the team. And, the emergence of Nunez, hopefully now Buto kind of solidifies that back end because you don't know if Reed Garrett's coming back or not. Doesn't sound good. Diaz needs to find himself after this whole sticky stuff thing. So hopefully he can get back to where he was. I know it's a lot of ifs, but those things kind of click. The offense has been okay. The defense has been okay. The starting pitching's been okay. They're on a roll. And if they can really, get themselves kind of back on that role of, winning 2 out of 3, winning series, not giving away games late. Those little things they were doing in the beginning of the season that they seem to have now kind of leveled off and now are winning those close games. Might be a fun summer. It might be a nice little run into August and September, kind of see where this thing goes. And hopefully we have some games we can talk about and really kind of break down and really, one way or another, happy or sad, whatever it goes, it's just going to be fun just being able to kind of, break those games down and talk about them with all of you and, kind of let my passion kind of speak for itself. I don't see Alonso being traded. I don't think they're going to do anything position-wise. I think if they're going to make moves at the deadline, it's going to be all bullpen. Maybe you'll see an outfield piece. I don't know. But I think top to bottom, especially from the position player side, they're going to be okay. Even without Starling Marte, if he's not going to come back from this injury, I think they have enough there to kind of solidify right field. Iglesias is going to play a lot more. You'll see the Nimos, you'll see the Baders, you'll see the Lindors, Martinez, Alonso, Alvarez, Vientos, etc. So their lineup doesn't really give me any pause to really worry. It's the bullpen. And hopefully the starting pitching really kind of solidifies and stays where it is because it's been very good. It has been. Manaya's been turned a corner. Quintana's a little up and down. I'm not so high on Quintana, but he has his good days and bad days. Severino's been the race the entire season. He's been fantastic. You don't know what you're going to get out of Christian Scott, but honestly, he's been okay. And Peterson, let's be honest, Peterson's been good for them. He gives them, a left-handed option that really can be, something that they might be able to depend on come, late season. And with the addition of Senga coming back, it sounds like he should be back within the next week or so. And we'll see where it goes. I'm excited. I am. I mean, listen, you don't get this very often as a Met fan where always the thing with the Mets was consistency. They were never consistent. They still aren't consistent. Only once in their history, actually twice, I apologize. Twice in their history have they gone to the playoffs back-to-back years. Okay? Now, hopefully this is a trend now with expanded playoffs and Cohen's money and, other things that, the addition of Stearns and him trying to build a foundation and make this thing a consistent winner, that's something the Mets have never had. Even in their heydays. In the 80s, they had the one World Series run, and then 87, 88, 89, they were close, but they never got back there. Okay? Even in the mid-2000s with the David Wright, Jose Reyes team. You're talking 06, 07, 08. They were there. They got there in 06, but then 07, we all know what happened in 07, and we all know what happened in 2008. Okay? The 15 team, they came out of nowhere. They make a late-season move with Yoenis Cespedes, and then go on this crazy run. And sustain it the following year. We forget that 16 team. I think Terry Collins got a raw deal in that whole thing. The 16 team was legit, and they were just a bad pitch from Jeurys Familia away from maybe making another run. We don't know, but with all the injuries that happened on that team that year, the fact that Terry Collins didn't even get a sniff of Manager of the Year is still stuff that sticks to me 8 years later. And we're still talking about this. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride. And we'll see what happens. I know the Yankees open up against Tampa. They're in a thick of a playoff race too for a division title. Let's hope that, they get themselves together, start to figure it out a little bit, and again, just kind of see where this goes. I'm so happy to see football is on the horizon. I know the Hall of Fame game is August 1st. So once we kind of make that turn into August, you're going to hear a lot more football talked on the program. I've been in contact with the Bordentown High School football coach who's agreed to come on the show. He's going to come on the show in the next weeks or so. We're going to talk to some high school, hopefully some college coaches, maybe some professional coaches, who knows. I'll try to get that out there to everybody and see where that goes. And again, just really enjoy the ride, man. Enjoy where this takes us. Enjoy where we're going, where we're heading, and have some fun. On today's show, we're going to have the founder and CEO of Be7athletics, a youth sports program that does co-ed flag football and co-ed soccer. His name is Sean Burley. He's going to join us today. Also, head coach of the Bordentown Badgers in the Be7athletics flag football division, Nick Delorenzo, is going to be with us today. Also, Nick Grasselli will join us today. We'll talk about some Philadelphia stuff. We're going to talk about, obviously, some baseball. We'll probably talk a little fantasy today, not too much. We're going to kind of save that for later on down the road a little bit. We'll touch on some things here and there, but nothing crazy. And again, just kind of enjoy the ride. So without further ado, let's talk about our sponsors. Jump Shot Gym, a one-of-a-kind basketball training facility located in Hillsborough, New Jersey. It's got 8 hoops and the Dr. Dish shooting machines. Get the reps you need to build your consistent jump shot. Visit jumpshotgym.com. That's right, jumpshotgym.com for information on shooting clinics, camps, and parties. One more time, jumpshotgym.com. Let's talk about Brazina Home Improvements, okay? Looking for any general contractor or repair for your home and business? Contact Brazina Home Improvements for a free estimate at 609-581-5848. One more time, 609-581-5848. Also, if you're looking to advertise with me or you want to sponsor some of the segments on the show, like the segment we do with Nick every week, and if anything else you'd like to sponsor or advertise with us, please contact me. You can find me on Instagram at JM14AllAroundPod. That's one word, JM14AllAroundPod. Or you can send me an email at JM14Productions, the word productions, at gmail.com. Let's do it one more time. JM14Productions at gmail.com. Now, I just want a little side note here. when we taped with Sean and with Nick, the audio was very spotty. I don't know if it has something to do with all the craziness going on in the tech world for the last 24 hours or so. But I apologize for the audio. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I don't really have the technology to kind of fix that right now. So we're going to have to deal with some of the little, bleeps and blurps and kind of the stutterness of the interview. But you guys will get the gist of the interview. It's a great interview, and can't wait to share it with all of you. So we'll catch you on the other side. All right, guys, we're back here on the All Around, and my guests at this time, as you can see, two men I really admire for everything they're doing in the youth sports community. The founder, CEO of Be7athletics, flag football and co-ed soccer, also flag football is co-ed as well. Mr. Sean Burley, thank you so much for being here. And a coach, gentleman I've got to know over the past month or so, doing such a phenomenal job in the program, coaching flag football, Nick Delorenzo. Fellas, so happy to have you on the show.
Thanks for having us. Excited to be here.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here. Happy Friday.
Yeah, man. Happy Fridays, right. So, Sean, I want to kind of throw this out to you, and Nick, I want to kind of get your thoughts on this too. Yeah. What was the idea behind Be7athletics and doing what you're doing now in the community to promote, positive impact sportsmanship and everything you're doing with the program?
What made me do, I was born a long time ago. We won't say that, but I played 8 years of football, and I know the values that it gave to me as the man that I am today. So I wanted to give something back to the community. I know this generation, there's a lot of screen staring, there's a lot of video games, the kids are not out there playing. So I wanted to put together a program where boys and girls from different ages, different backgrounds to get onto a field and have some fun playing flag football, playing soccer, and understand sportsmanship and discipline and resilience and having fun. I don't see that a lot around here. So I coached my son to get him involved in flag football. I won him a championship out in another state. And then I came back here, and in the spring, I helped coach the South Jersey Cheetahs in the Travel Elite Division to a championship. And right now, this summer is my debut of flag football for the kids in Bordentown and neighboring townships to get out the house and understand the game of flag football, understand it's a family event. Grandparents were out last week, tents were out, aunts, cousins, everybody was cheering for their sons and their daughters, and it was a beautiful thing. So this is just all a dream come true. Tomorrow will be week 2, and Bordentown will be facing some more competition from Mercer County Park for the first time. So this is epic. This is historic. Thank you so much. So I wanted to get some real good coaches just to go through that real fast. I sent out some information. Some people said they want to volunteer to coach their son or their daughter, so they did get background checked. After that, I did have a mandatory meeting with all the coaches just so I could get the warm and fuzzy from them, make sure that they share the vision of Be7athletics. All kids play equal time. They could share different positions so that they could learn the fundamentals and the basics of football and how to play. So if someone needs to shift or someone goes on vacation, they know how to play that play. So I met with Nick and got a good vibe from him, awesome vibe from him. And next thing I know, he signed up both of his daughters. And I've been into a couple of his practices, and he's doing so awesome. He's teaching these kids the basics of football, and they're thriving, and it's an awesome thing. So I'll turn it over to Coach Nick, man. Tell him how you feel to have the B-Town Badgers children and players as you being the coach, man. Let it be known. Share it.
It's a joy, man. I'll tell you, it was a joy. Now, when I said that I volunteered to be a coach, let's be clear. I volunteered to become assistant coach. I have not played football since I was 8th grade. I was involved. I started flag football when I was 5 years old. I still talk to my flag football coach to this day. He's a good friend of mine. I had some fantastic coaches around along the way. But I found out, Jim, very quickly that when you volunteer to be an assistant coach, you're putting your hat in the ring. You're head coach. So
absolutely,
it's interesting how it came about. I got two 9-year-old little girls, blended family, fantastic, but very, very different. One is she's in jujitsu and she does softball and she's aggressive and competitive. And the other one is dance and it's Girl Scouts. And in Bordentown, driving around, we saw Sean's B7 athletic co-ed flag football signs. And the one that's not as competitive, Penelope, she goes and says, "Hey, I would like to go and try flag football." And the other one says, "I would like to try flag football." And what I know is that when you are involved in team sports, you get better. You learn how to go and communicate and to be a good sport, win with humility and lose with class. And there is no better team sport than football. It's not one player, it's the entirety of the team working together, communicating. And I don't know who's having more fun out there, to be honest with you. If it's me or seeing them win and do well and have fun, or if it's them. But it's a great experience for me, something that I've never experienced before. One, coaching from a sports standpoint, but being able to go and come home and teach and coach my girls, and then put it out in the field. It's been one of the best summers that I've had so far, thanks to coaching, which is great.
What I love and what I've seen out of everybody so far. Okay. And now I'm just a dad right now. Like obviously I coach, other sports. I coach basketball, I do baseball, but I did football for a little while, but I really don't know much to really teach how you guys teach the game. But being a dad and being on the sideline and watching the smiles on the kids' faces was the greatest thing I've seen in a very, very long time. Really. I mean, what you guys are doing and what you guys have accomplished just in basically a month's time is something I commend both of you for. And you know what? The best is yet to come because we've only really scratched the surface. And I love seeing the diversity. I love seeing the dynamic out there and watching everybody just kind of figure it out. That to me is an unbelievable thing and something that we should do more of.
Oh, we will. We'll be doing 6 more weeks of flag football. This is just the first week. Tomorrow will be week 2. After that, week 5 will close out the regular season. Week 6, there will be playoffs. Playoffs. Yeah,
Yeah.
playoffs. Flag football playoffs. That's what's going on.
Aye, aye.
And then after that, week 7 will be the championship game. But everybody's going to continue to play. So if you go into the playoffs and you don't advance, you're still going to play. So the kids signed up for 7 weeks. We're going to make sure that the kids get 7 weeks of flag football. They're doing a phenomenal job. So some of them played the game of tackle, like myself. Some of them also never played the game at all. Some of them, you have girls that never ever played. And then you also have some girls that never played and are playing better than the boys. So this is what makes this game so much fun. Anybody could come from any background, and guess what? They could compete. They can have fun trying to run around the field with someone trying to pull on their flag before they score a touchdown. If there's no better feeling than that, then I don't know what it is. But tomorrow will be week 2, so everybody will be excited again. I'm excited because I will be there next week. I'm very excited. So yeah, it's going to be fun. This is just the beginning. I understand that it took me a lot, me, my wife, my family, for me to push this forward. But I knew I had a vision. A couple of my peoples, they also had the vision, and at the end of the day, I had the drive. So if you see emails coming from me at 3 o'clock in the morning and some words are misspelled and you read it and like, this guy don't know how to spell, don't worry. It's at 3 o'clock in the morning, if not maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, but I'm doing what I can to make sure we have a good, strong community that is diverse, that can come to a field on a Saturday morning and play some flag football and then go home and enjoy the rest of their day. Because once they leave that football field, they still will have those basic 7 principles that B7 Athletics stands for. So yeah, B7 Athletics.
I see it.
Yeah.
And
What
I
I
think
love,
last night was nights, right? 2:30.
yeah, yeah, there was one at 2:30.
Email.
Oh yeah, they go down. Coach Nick knows what time. I think last night was at
Yeah.
2:55. It was at 2:55. This ain't for everybody,
Hey,
boys and girls.
and
This ain't for everybody. I'm
That's
doing
all
it for
right.
and not
everybody.
Hey,
only
listen.
that, you sent out the entire game. I was able to go and watch back and watch game film on our entire team I gotta watch the Bears. I gotta watch the Bears game next. So when we come up against them, we have a little bit of scouting going on. But
The
I love
Bears are
that we're
tough.
able to. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got some good coaches. That's for sure. I
Yes,
love
they
that we're
do.
doing this in the ground level because because it's a new league. I just love that we're able to go and communicate and impact and change the league based off of things that our kids and our parents are telling. But Jim, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all. Please. Open forum, please. It's okay. But to kind of go back to where you guys are talking about, okay? I love, Sean, how completely organized you are and having everything so set up so well. And I was very impressed just from a coaching standpoint of seeing everything as well run as something I've seen for like a startup, more or less. Kudos to you because you've done a tremendous job getting this thing
Yeah.
off the ground. And Nick, just being around you and kind of seeing how you interact with the kids, to me, we can always learn things, right? So like we can always learn how to, coach certain things, read up on stuff, learn things. But one thing you can't teach is the interaction with children. And I feel like the way, you interact with the kids and how Sean, how you interact with everyone, this league is going to get off the ground and do something very special, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. This is just the beginning. We got the fall season coming up, boys and girls. Coach Sean is bringing something very, very special. I hold football to my heart. Listen to what the man just now said. I'm the owner, I'm the operator, I'm the commissioner, I'm the coach, and I'm a player. So last week, we just now won last week. We're 1-0. So this is for kids, this is for adults. If you want to have some fun, we have an opportunity for you. If you don't, it's okay. You will see a video. I've seen parents out there like this in practice. The other day it was going to rain, and guess what? I called off the soccer practice. I said, we can't do it. I see storms, I see lightning. We putting our kids first. Cancel the practice. Half hour later, coach called me up. One of my coaches. Oh, it looks sunny to me. I'm like, you want me to send out another notice? Yep. Guess what? We sent out the notice. We put the green light on. We had boys and girls playing soccer. We had Coach Nick hosting the B-Town Badgers in the Mighty Mite division. We also had the Wildcats, the B-Town Wildcats, where? In Bordentown, in the juniors division. They were practicing because practice makes perfect. That's what we're doing. We're not staring. We're not doing this. We're not doing it. We're taking a break. We're going outside and having fun. That's what we do. Sign up. www.be7athletics.com.
Love it. I love it. I love your energy and I love your passion for this because it makes such a difference. It makes such a difference it could be anybody. Like it could be my life. It could be, Coach Nick's life. It could be a young child's life. We don't even know sometimes how much of an impact we make on people. And the way you guys kind of go about yourselves and the way you
Yeah.
carry yourselves goes a long way in shaping the youth of, what we're doing.
Yeah, I just see it as it has to be a partnership between the coaches, the parents, and the kids. So for me, I told you before that this is my first time coaching, so there's extra amount of effort going into the preparation. I want to make sure that when I'm out there with the kids, we get an hour and a half once a week besides game day. We got to make sure that we're organized. We have to make sure that we're utilizing the players for them to go and excel. That way they have a good time and they're not feeling that they're in a position where it's not a strong suit for them. But it's also getting to know how to interact with different kids. I know some of them we can maybe push them a little bit harder, and the other ones need a little bit of love. But at the end of the day, this is rec football, and it's designed to be fun for them. Win, lose, draw. This is designed to be fun. So cheer them up, coach them. Good job. Have some fun with them. I think the age that our kids are, at least mine, 9 years old. They're only gonna be 9 years old once, and it's a really really fun age. So
Yeah.
I know how inappropriate my girls are at home. I'm sure all your kids are equally as inappropriate. So we can go and just have a good time while
You
teaching them
guys have
football.
no idea what goes on in my house. Like seriously,
I'm
like
sure. I'm
yeah.
sure. But it's for me, it's a matter of it's preparation to make sure that we can give everything we possibly can to put them in the position to go and win and have fun and not taking this so serious. We take the preparation serious, we take the safety serious, but let's have fun.
Yep,
One thing,
that
Nick,
is
you
one of
said,
the Right.
Go ahead, Sean.
Like I said, that's one of the values and principles with B7 Athletic. It's called fun. You will have some fun. If you don't think you'll have fun, look at the videos and look at
Yeah.
the faces of our children having fun. That's priceless. Coach Nick just now said it. They're only 9 years old once. I did it for 8 years. You learn something playing football. Trust me.
What I love about the two of you, okay, and it kind of you guys both separately kind of do the same thing. I always feel communication is key, okay, and the way you communicate and how you communicate, right? And to me, being able to do those things and communicating on a level where everybody can understand what the vision is and everybody understands what the expectation level is as well. You know, that, yeah, sometimes, you know what, maybe some people are less than others, and that's okay. You know, as long as everybody's having fun, doing a good job, and learning how to compete the right way. You know, like we're gonna win, we're gonna lose. There's gonna be, you know, life lessons in failure, and gonna be life lessons in achievement. And to really bring the best out of everyone and being able to do that, Sean, I see it in what you're building in your program, and Nick, I see it when I watch you guys coach. It is outstanding what everyone's doing. And even, you know, a good friend of mine, Sal Costa, he's another coach in the league. And he was really one of the guys that kind of got me on board with the program. And I know what kind of a guy he is, and I know what kind of a person he is, and he fits in right with what we're doing here. And again, I love what you're doing. I want you guys to be as successful as I hope you guys can be. And I really love what is happening, you know, and what's for me, and this is just my take on this, I've never watched my son smile so much. And that's you guys. And I appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, that's
Oh, you're
that's
welcome.
fantastic. I love hearing that. You know, and I think one of the things that we're doing is we're letting these kids dictate and kind of tell their story and come out of their shell. You know, we're last week, perfect example. Just about every single kid on our team scored either a touchdown or extra point up until like the last couple scores that we had. And one of the kids had he was really down on himself at the beginning of practice before the game started. He had some unpleasant experience in his previous flag league. He was new. His team never won. He was a little bit self-conscious with his catching abilities, and he was really bummed. And we had to take him aside and coach him up. And Jim, what Logan did in the huddle, he threw a pass to that specific child. He missed it, and he said, "You know what? Let's run the same play again. We need to get this one child his points, his touches." So being able to see somebody like your son that's young, he's a young kid, have that leadership and step up and be that empathetic towards a teammate that he could tell that he was hurt or feeling a certain way. That touched me. That was great. I love that Logan's having fun.
Touch me too, man.
I love that
You
all the
got
kids
me.
are having fun. But seeing them grow like that, that's a big deal.
I agree. Totally agree. And you know what? When you sent that to me privately, that was a touching moment that I share with my wife. And we really we're holding back tears because, this is what our values are. We want to be
Yeah,
able to be empathetic and show leadership in the right times and not be, non-sympathetic when it comes to people that, are looking to try to, get better. And I'm so proud of him, just for being who he is, and this is something I know he loves football. Like, I know he plays other sports, but I know deep down inside my son Logan loves football. I mean, you can hear it when you talk to him. He's like an adult when you talk like football with him. It's crazy. Like I talk to him, like I would talk to you guys about just like little things that he sees.
yeah,
And I love how he's adapted to the flag style. And I think if I'd have known this 3 years ago, I probably would have had him play more flag than I did tackle. But that was, me being naive. And that's okay. But now
sure.
seeing where this goes, my younger son, Carter, I guarantee you will be involved, in the coming weeks and months. I mean, that's just going to happen. And I know I've had parents and I've had others reach out to me privately and say, okay, I know you speak glowingly about this league. How can I get involved? And I think that's kind of the beauty of this, the ground level grassroots kind of, let's get everything involved and let's grow this thing into something really good.
Yeah, no doubt. It's awesome. Like my man and just now said, we got equal opportunity over here where I came from. We have first string. That means you're on the field. Second string, you sit back and you watch. You like a parent. You like, yay!
Yeah.
Right? You don't want that.
Yeah.
Never want that.
Yeah.
You want equal opportunity. So no matter how good you are, no matter how bad you are, no how you can run touchdowns, you can pass the ball, you can't. You're going to get equal playing time. Right? We're not doing that. We're changing. We're breaking the old mode. This is the new mode. Everybody plays. It's going to be the next sport in the Olympics. Everybody going to want to play this. We got it right here.
Yes, it is. 2028. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
2028 in Los Angeles, you will have flag football. So I love the helmet. I love the mouthpiece. I love the crackback. I was running back, right? So quarterback. So it was fun. Cornerback. So yeah, it was a great time. But this is a safer sport now for the kids, knowing that we know of different reasons why people don't want to play hardcore football. It's not built for everybody.
No,
I
it's
played
not.
for for me. I still love that game, trust me. But this flag brings the same football, the same fun with less contact. So you're going to have a little bit of contact. At the end of the day, it's football. But at the end of the day, it's a safer way of not getting hurt and putting on a helmet and banging it. So this is the best. I'm glad the kids do experience. Coach Nick, I've been in a couple of his practices, seeing what he's doing. I love what he's doing. Him and Coach Jess. We can't just say Coach Nick. We do have a coach.
No, absolutely not. No, we have to bring it up.
That's the dedication we got going on over here. That's a family affair right there. So
Get
you
me in
got
trouble.
Yeah, you got husband and wife over there, coaching down Badgers. If y'all don't know that.
You guys are great. Listen,
now, yeah.
I can talk.
So that's awesome. And they're really teaching the kids the values to be fun.
Guys, I can't thank both of you enough for being here with me today. Please check out Be7athletics.com. Get involved. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are, what part of the country you're in, get involved. Even if it's just on a very minor level, just be involved. It'll bring joy into your life watching how that can bring joy out of a child. So guys, Sean, thank you so much. Nick, thank you so very much for being here with me. And you guys have an open invitation to come back.
Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a happy Friday. Have a safe weekend.
We'll see you on the field tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Oh, tomorrow, week 2. Week 2 is tomorrow.
I love it. I love the energy. All right, guys.
Guys, have a
All right, guys, we are back here on the All Around. My guest, really not a guest, my co-host, my guy. I don't even want to call him like a sidekick because he's really not a sidekick. I think co-host is better than sidekick. That's my opinion. But again, you know what time of the show it is, folks. Batman and Robin time. Mr. Philadelphia himself, Nick Grasselli, is on the show once again. Nick, what is going on?
So,
not a lot. Not a lot at all. I mean, we got let's see, we got the Phillies starting up. What are they going against? Pittsburgh, right?
Pirates. Yeah. Skeens isn't pitching though. I thought he was, but they decided not to.
Yeah, you lucked out.
I kind of want to see him though.
You see, trust me, you'll see enough of him as the weeks, the months, and the years to come. You don't want to see him. Be happy that you don't see him. What was I going to say? I think one of the games or the weekend I'm going to look forward to, besides obviously the Mets, and one of the things I'm going to keep an eye on is Atlanta and St. Louis, because obviously for reasons for the Mets, I kind of need the Braves to beat St. Louis a couple times, to kind of give us a little bit of room to try and sneak up into that second wild card spot. We'll see what happens. I mean, got to do what we got to do. We got to take care of business too. But good.
My audio's like lagging a little bit, but
yeah, it's been like this. Yeah,
I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's like an outage going on around the world.
I think something weird's going on with like I don't know what's going on. It was like that with the previous interview. It's gonna be like that with this one. It is what it is. We'll just, you know what I mean? What are we gonna do?
But yeah, is St. Louis number 2 seed right now? In the wild card?
I think they're a half a game in front of the Mets right now. So as we all sit around.
All right. Yeah, and the Padres are there, right, too?
Padres are behind the Mets right now, I think, a game. And Arizona's right behind them too. So
Arizona's creeping up.
yeah, you know what? They didn't get off to the greatest start in the world, but they're right there. Kind of like how
Yeah.
the Mets were. The Mets were 11 games under, and everybody wrote them off for dead, including me. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I was very down on the Mets, especially because of what you're watching. It's like you'd watch, they'd get ahead, bullpen would blow it, and then it would just be a mess. They didn't know how to get out of their own way. But somehow, some way, here we are, after, I guess, I'd say May, like right around Memorial Day is kind of when the turn kind of really started. And now look at them. They're now 3 games over. They're in a wild card position. They're possibly slowly closing that gap with Atlanta to maybe even catch them for second. Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and predict that, they're going to go on this crazy run or anything like that, because I've seen them go backwards and then I've seen them go forward. So it's like, okay, one way or another, this is going to work. And I don't know which way it's going to go.
I'm hoping like in this next 10 days till the trade deadline that some teams kind of start losing. So you
Yeah,
see
me too.
more teams sell, because otherwise it's like nobody's really going to try to sell at the deadline.
Everybody's going to try and add. You're right. And you know
Yeah.
what? Maybe you figure there's probably maybe a handful of teams right now. If you're going to go across all of MLB, right? I'd say 5 teams you can kind of put off the top of your head. Colorado, who am I forgetting in the National League? Who's behind Colorado this thing? Miami.
Washington.
Okay. I wouldn't put Washington there yet. They're close, but I mean, they're probably going to sell anyway, but I think they're
Yeah.
more or less done. Oakland, done. Who else in the American League you can kind of quote unquote just say they're finished? The White Sox, they're done, So you're looking at those 5 teams for sure that are going to sell. But besides that, I mean, people think they're still in it.
Yeah, I don't know, like even in the AL, like Detroit, are they going to sell? The Rays, the Blue Jays, like those are borderline
trade.
teams that. What did you say?
I said I ain't trading with the Rays. I ain't doing that. Nope.
Yeah, there's some of their guys that were saying that might get traded. Arena, and I forget the other guy's name, but some of them they're better players.
You know what? They're going to have to try and do something, because obviously they're going to be without Wander Franco forever. He's done. Like, he's never coming back. So forget it. He'll be in jail for the rest of his life and deservedly so. But you're right about Tampa. The Blue Jays are an interesting one to watch because they had such a young core for a long time. They might blow that whole thing up. I did read a quote the other day about Bo Bichette saying he wouldn't be surprised if he ended up getting traded. I mean, I think that would be a big get for a team out there looking to contend. Again, I mean, you got the top tier teams like the Orioles, the Yankees, the Phillies. I'll throw the Dodgers in there, obviously, and take it for what it's worth. I mean, you'll kind of see those 4. Houston, I think, is kind of a team to watch. I know they've been struggling a little bit. They're starting to kind of figure it out. They're one of those teams that are always there at the end. And again, let's see where it goes. Let's see how it all plays out.
Sure.
What's you're lucky about Skeens. I tell you, you are 100% lucky about Skeens, and I think that's a good way to get the second half of the season back up and running and get themselves firing on all cylinders again. When does Real Muto come back?
I thought he was supposed to come back today, but I think it's going to be Monday. I'm
Okay.
pretty confident. He should be at least. Otherwise, who knows?
They're back at full strength then. As soon as they get Real Muto back, you guys are back fully healthy.
Yep.
I don't think Marte's coming back for the Mets. I was thinking about this. Like, he's been out for a while, and honestly, like, they really don't need him. So he's one of those guys, when he does come back, he's more of a luxury than anything. And if I were the Mets, if he had some sort of value, I'd try to move him. But again, you're going to have to eat a lot of that contract. So do you do it? Do you not do it? Addition by subtraction. I mean, Cohen's not afraid. So, I mean, anything could happen at that point. But I'm curious to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I wonder, could they just get rid of him, like, completely?
They could.
Marte?
Yeah, they could. I mean, you can pretty much cut anybody. But the problem is that you're on the hook for the money. The thing about the contracts in the Major League Baseball is that it's fully guaranteed regardless if you play or if you don't. So if you were to sign a contract tomorrow for 5 years at X amount of money, you're guaranteed that X amount of money regardless of how you perform. you're still going to get paid.
It's interesting because a lot of these guys get cut now and they barely play and they have a big contract. Like someone like the Angels and Doan, he's still on the team, but his contract's so big that they just don't cut him and hope that he comes back.
The Mets did with Robinson Cano a couple of years ago, if you remember. They ate a lot of that money off of that contract, and
He's still in the books, right?
no, he's gone now. He was off the books as of this year. He's done.
Oh, yes.
So another thing too, because if you look at their Mets flexibility in the next year or so, they have a lot of contracts coming off the books, and you have Scherzer's contract that they sold off to Texas, and they're not going to have to pay Verlander after this year because his contract's not going to vest. So therefore, that's a lot of money that's going away. So realistically, the Mets can go out and sign both Pete Alonso and Juan Soto. That's on the table. Whether they do it or not, who knows? But they're going to need pitching. And I think what they're trying to do, especially at the minor league level, is develop young arms that are not as costly as like some of the position players are. And if you noticed, the philosophy they took in the offseason was let's get a bunch of guys on 1-year deals that are veteran guys, more of a prove it kind of thing, and then let's develop the farm system. You see it with a guy like Christian Scott who comes up and is okay. I think he still needs a lot of work to do, but I think, and I was saying this in the open, Nick, Peterson's a guy to watch because Peterson's one of these guys that after he had that hip surgery, he got started late, probably about 6 weeks, out of the season that he kind of got himself, ready to go. Once he got back, he's been lights out, man. He's been a different pitcher, and he could be a difference maker for that team moving forward. I really think so.
And are you guys getting Senga back soon?
At some point, I mean, it sounds like probably in the next week or so. I think you mix Senga in there. I think you go out and get another bullpen piece or two, and then just kind of see where it goes. It wouldn't shock me if they went out and got another outfield piece. Who that piece is, I don't know. But you have options. I mean, but then again, too, it's like anything else. It's like the old talk show remedy. Like you're trading your worst pieces for the best players. It doesn't work. So everybody wants to get rid of Jeff McNeil. Everybody wants to get rid of Starling Marte and this person, but nobody's taking them. Like nobody's going to take your trash because you don't want it anymore, and they're not going to give you your best player for nothing. So it's kind of hard to see how this is all going to play out. I do think they make a move. I do think they add. I don't think Alonso gets traded, and I think they just ride the season out. Wherever it goes, it goes. But I do eventually think they'll have a winning season. Whether they make the playoffs or not, I don't know. It remains to be seen.
Yeah, they I don't think they should add that much. Like they should get pieces that, just fill out the roster that can play for the rest of the season. But then I think you go in the free agency and get guys based off of like who you need from last season. If you need another starting pitcher, you get another starting pitcher, outfielder, and then you ride that squad till next year. And maybe next year you're a way better team than this year.
Yeah, I do. And I can convince myself of 3 different things on 3 different days. Like one day I'm thinking like Soto and Alonso are going to stay and they're going to build and they're going to run this whole thing back and it's going to be great. And then another time I'm like, probably not because Stearns, didn't do it in Milwaukee. Now he has the funds. Will he do it? Will he not do it? Or are they going to prioritize one over another? Are they going to be pitching? I'm curious to see how this all plays out. But right now I want to focus on just kind of enjoying what we're watching. You know what I mean? Because again, that was so bad for so long. And now that it's turned and there's actually some good things going on with that team, I'm really kind of curious to see where this all goes. And you know what? If it goes great, great. If it doesn't, then hey, it's been a fun year. It gets us right to football, which is something I wanted to talk about today.
Exactly.
We're going to do, I'm going to announce this right now. We're going to do a pretty intense fantasy football, I guess a position, not ranking, but we're going to talk about position by position. We'll probably do some sleepers. We'll do some things, and we'll kind of go over that really in like great detail. But right now, I just kind of want to throw some names at you and kind of see where your head is and what you're thinking about, and some things I've been kind of off the top of my head just kind of thinking about now that we're getting closer to football season.
Mm.
What's your thoughts on CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud. I think that offense is really good. The Texans offense is insanely good. And now they added Diggs. They were good last year. And they added Diggs and then Tank Dell's back to healthy. I think they should easily win that division. I don't think the Jaguars can compete. The Colts are pretty good, but I don't think they can compete even with the Texans. I think Texans I see 11, 12 games if CJ Stroud plays even the same level or better than what he did last year. And I'm really excited to watch that offense.
They got a running back too? Who did they end up getting in with Stroud? You remember off the top of your head?
It was Joe Mixon, I think.
Yes, it was Joe Mixon. You are correct. There you go. So you had him into the mix. You had Diggs. You had, like you said, Tank Dell. Dalton Schultz. Don't sleep on the tight end. Don't do that. Like he's one of those guys that might be one of those forgotten pieces in that offense that everybody's going to be so concerned about. Where Stephon Diggs is on the field and all that. He's one of those guys to watch, especially like in the red zone. I like him a lot. What's your feeling on the Lions and how they're constructed?
Lions are interesting to me because a lot of people have them ranked really high, and I think that's fair to put them out there. But I think the Packers are better than them. I'll say that straight. I
Wow,
think they are better. I think
that's a hot take.
yeah, it is. But I think the Packers are just more stronger built. And I think Jordan Love, I think he really can get that offense going better than Jared Goff can get the Lions offense going. Yeah, Goff might be good, but I feel like he's always, you never know about him. He could have an MVP type season, or he can struggle for some games and the season doesn't look as good. But I think the Packers are better, and I think the Packers, I don't know if they're going to win the division, but I think the Packers go farther in the playoffs than the Lions.
Ooh, you heard it here first on the All Around Sports podcast. I think throwing a hot fire out there. Okay. I completely disagree with you with this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do think in the beginning, you'll see kind of a hangover from last year. Remember, they had a 10-point lead in the NFC Championship game and blew it, right, and lost. So that's going to carry over to them in the season. And I think the first 3 or 4 weeks with Detroit, they're not going to be any good. But I think as the season progresses and you kind of start to see, things start to kind of more or less kind of stabilize, I think you'll see them kind of peak at the right time. I'm going to tell you this right now. Detroit's my Super Bowl pick. I think they're going. I think they're going. I do. I think they're getting there. And I think because of what happened last year, I think eventually they'll use that as motivation. And I think they're going to take that final step and get to the Super Bowl. Whether they win or not, I don't know. Personally, if it was me, I'm rooting for the three-peat. I am. I'm rooting for the three-peat. I'm just being honest. Like, obviously, if the Giants do something to this year, I'll be completely thrilled, and that kind of changes my whole, way of thinking about things. But if I'm just going to talk just as a football fan right now, I want to see the three-peat. I do. I really want to see the three-peat because it's never happened.
Yeah, I would love to see the Lions go to the Super Bowl. Win it or not, it would be, I don't even,
it'd be crazy.
No words to describe it. The Chiefs, if they win three-peat, then I don't even know. They've taken over the NFL by far, and it's going to be hard for a team to get to their level.
The only way you can ever compare to Mahomes to Brady is if Mahomes wins a third one in a row. Because Brady's records are so unobtainable right now because of his longevity and the fact that his teams were really good for a really long time, and he got to so many Super Bowls and won so many Super Bowls and blah, 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 right? That's out of the realm. Like, in order to catch him and go past him, you have to win 8. Think about that. 8 Super Bowls in this era, it's never going to happen. So if you're going to make the argument that Mahomes is better than Brady, you need something to back you up. He's got to do something Brady's never done, and that is win 3 straight. So it's on the table. I mean, I think they're better, not worse. I don't think that they've gotten any worse. I think their offense is going to be a lot better too. And I think that they're all motivated to do it. I think that this is about as close as you're going to see a team get to 3 in a row.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs got better, but also other teams in the AFC got better. And is a team finally going to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs and get over them and go to the Super Bowl? That's the question. The Chiefs,
I don't know.
I was going to say, yeah. Mahomes is almost impossible to beat.
Yeah. On the road too. Like, you can't. He proved last year that he wasn't just one of these home guys.
He can win anywhere.
Yeah. Yes, he can. He can win it. He can win anywhere. He can do anything. He can beat you however way he wants to beat you. So you can't take the whole always never run a road game. That's over. Like that's all done. Like they went on the road 3 straight games. Actually, no, I'm sorry, 2 straight games, and did what they needed to do. Beat a Baltimore team that everybody thought was going to beat them. They went into Buffalo. Was that they went to Buffalo, right?
I think it was Buffalo. Yeah,
Yeah, they went to Buffalo and beat
it's
Buffalo.
Buffalo than Baltimore.
Yes. So, and then you saw what they did in the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs don't really care about home field anymore. I think they did at some point. I don't think that matters to them anymore. I think what matters to them is winning their division, making sure they're a higher seed, maybe a 2, 3, whatever, and then letting the chips fall where they may and peaking at the right time and being there when it matters the most. I think the Jets are going to give them a run. I really do. I think if Rodgers stays healthy, the Jets, top to bottom, have the best roster in football.
Yeah, the
So,
AFC. There's gonna be some good teams that miss the playoffs,
yeah, no,
and it's
yeah, they
happened
are
years before. But the Chiefs, they should win the division, no problem. I mean,
easy. I
Chargers
mean,
aren't that good.
they
Raiders,
stink.
Broncos.
Listen,
Yeah,
the only team in that division is going to give them anything is the Raiders. I think the Chargers are a year away. Harbaugh's got to implement his system and get his guys right. Denver stinks. They're not going to do anything. They're again a couple of years away unless they hit on a quarterback and maybe things change with them. The Raiders, I love Antonio Pierce, former Giant. I love the way he coaches. I love the way how that team is prepared. I love how hard they play, and I think they're gonna shock some people this year. I think they're a wild card team. I really do. And the Chiefs are the class of the conference. They are. I mean, I think the Bills have taken a step back. I don't think Miami's as good as they were last year. I think it's the Jets. I think it's Houston. I think it's who am I forgetting? Cleveland. I throw Cleveland in that mix too. I think Cleveland's very good. Cincinnati, you can never count out Joe Burrow, and see where it goes.
yeah. I think that I like the 4 teams: Chiefs, Ravens, Jets, and Texans. Those 4 I really like, and they're all in separate divisions, so they might all win the division.
Sure.
The Bills, I really don't know about the Bills. They might
I
be.
think this is finally the year the Bills are. I do.
Yeah, they could. Then you got the Bengals. The Bengals were, last season might have been a fluke, not great. Just because look how good they were the season before. And then what other teams you got? Dolphins. I mean, I don't think the Dolphins are gonna be that good this year.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I'm with you.
And Tua's he needs a new contract, I think. I don't know if he's gonna
Tyre-
get it or not. We'll
Tyreek
see.
Hill wants more money, so he could feed his 17 children. So you got that. And Tua needs a contract. You need the I don't see how. I think Miami's team, it was last year. Like if they were going to do anything, it was going to be last year. And I don't think they're very good.
Something happened. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know, but hey, it is. It's one of these wacky things. I'm telling you, something's going on. Like it happened before. It's happening now. Whatever. You know what I mean? We're putting it out for the people, Nick. You know what? It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but let's get into detail a little further on down the road. We'll talk about that probably. I think we should probably start doing that maybe late next week. Let's really start, breaking it down. What I would like to do, and I know, Nick's on board with this, we're going to kind of take a division by division approach and kind of, break everybody down and kind of see where that goes. We'll hit the fantasy aspect of it team by team. We'll do just a breakdown of their coach, quarterback, system, whatever. And we'll kind of make our predictions from there. And then, at the end of it, we'll just kind of throw out our Super Bowl predictions, see where it goes. And I will say this, we are going to save the NFC East for last because obviously Giants and the Eagles, something we want to talk about pretty heavily. So we'll do the AFC first, and then we'll kind of work our way to the NFC, and then we'll do the East last, and then do all that fun stuff. So, all right, Nick, let's roll out of here today because obviously the issues with the audio is going to be terrible. It is what it is, and we'll catch up with you next week. All right, brother. All right,
Sounds good.
all right.
guys, we are back here on the All Around. My thanks again to Sean Burley of Be7athletics, as well as Nick Delorenzo, the coach of the Bordentown Badgers in the Be7athletics co-ed flag football division. My thanks again to my co-host, my guy, Batman and Robin, baby, Nick Grasselli. Fun always catching up with him about, his takes on Philadelphia sports. Listen, as a New York guy, you know how I feel about Philadelphia, so it's kind of hard for me to do it, but I do it for you, the all-around army. It's going to be a good, relaxing weekend. We'll catch up with everybody early next week like we always do. Very excited to see what the weekend brings and how that all comes about. We'll be watching the Mets, nonstop, as I always do. Looking forward to the football season, like I've always said. And, whatever comes around, comes around. One thing I do want to mention is go out of your way on Saturday night to watch the WNBA All-Star game with Team USA against the WNBA All-Stars. For somebody who has a daughter who plays basketball and have been very involved in the women's game now that I've watched my daughter kind of grow up from youth to middle school now to high school, it's great to see that women's basketball is getting the proper light it deserves and doesn't get enough credit for how great of a game it really is. Because at its purest form, it's the most fundamentally sound basketball you can watch. And if you like physicality, the game's very physical. It really is. The game is very physical. It's played below the rim. You can really teach by watching what goes on in, either the WNBA or women's college basketball. Again, go out of your way to watch, on Saturday night. I think you'll find yourself, kind of enthralled in that. And hopefully, we'll see what happens from there. The popularity is obviously getting bigger and bigger with the emergence of Caitlin Clark. She seems to have sort of figured it out, at the professional level. You've noticed, with her stat sheet, her games, they've seemed to have gone up and up and up and up as more games that she's played. So kudos to her for that. We'll see kind of where her career takes her. Hopefully it's on a level where, you can, get her in, kind of like how people my age saw Michael Jordan, how people of a generation ago saw Magic, Larry, or whoever. I was talking to my wife last night about Cheryl Miller, and how great of a basketball player she was. And unfortunately, there really was no women's professional league that she could play in to really flourish her skills. But at the college level, she was, quite frankly, one of the greatest basketball players at the women's college level there ever was. So, again, thank you to all of you, my all-around army. We can't do this without the support of you. And one more time before we get out of here, let's talk about our sponsors. Jump Shot Gym, a one-of-a-kind basketball training facility located in Hillsborough, New Jersey. We have 8 hoops and the Dr. Dish shooting machines. Get the reps that you need to build that consistent jump shot. Visit jumpshotgym.com. That's right, jumpshotgym.com for information on shooting clinics, camps, and parties. Brazina Home Improvements, my favorite place to go whenever I need any type of home repair. If you need repair for your home or your business or any general contracting need, contact Brazina Home Improvements at 609-581-5848 for a free estimate. One more time, 609-581-5848. Free estimates guaranteed. And again, if you want to advertise with the show or do you want to sponsor anything on the podcast, contact me on Instagram at JM14AllAroundPod. That's JM14AllAroundPod. Or you can contact my email at jm14productions@gmail.com. One more time, jm14productions@gmail.com. All right, guys, it's going to wrap up for this week. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope everybody enjoys themselves. Hopefully the weather stays nice, and we'll catch everybody early next week. See you!